Heyo and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first NOvEL. Do you get it? Because it's Christmas. You can see my antler ears, which are too tall to get in the frame. And the first NOvEL, we talk about books, we talk about writing. The first NOvEL. Right? So the first NOvEL is going to be a series of 7 videos leading up to Christmas where I'm going to be talking about things that you need to remember for your first novel. While I'm doing that, because it's Christmas, I'm also going to be doing Christmassy things. So today, as you can see, I have a spread out in front of me and we are going cooking show styles. I'm going to be making my take on gingerbread men, which is Ninjabread men, because I have these awesome cookie cutters that are ninjas and we make gingerbread and make Ninjabread men for Christmas. Nice. To add to the fun, even though this is pretty extraordinary, I am also going to be announcing a giveaway at the end of this video, so stick around for that to find out how to enter. So as I just said, today we are making Ninjabread men, which obviously has a whole heap of different ingredients that go into it. In terms of your first NOvEL, we are going to be talking a little bit about structure. I actually think these two things go together really well, because when you're baking, there are certain key ingredients that need to go in at certain times to make it work, and structuring a novel is kind of the same. So I think we should get started on these Ninjabread men. First off, we've got butter, we've got sugar, they've got to go together. Butter and sugar. Breakfast of champions. So next up we've got to add the golden syrup and the egg yolk. While I do that, I'm going to have a little chat about this structure. So I feel like with structure, look at that gloop, that you need to learn and know the rules before you break them, which is very, very similar to things like baking. You know, you've got to learn the basic recipe before you can start playing with it. And you definitely can start playing with it, but you've definitely got to know the rules. There are definitely a lot of resources out there that will help you in terms of learning how to structure your book. And this is definitely something that I'm learning. I haven't even read any books on writing a book, if that makes sense. So it's definitely something that I need to learn. I almost feel like I have kind of innately got some of it installed just because I read a lot. And if you read a lot, then I feel like it really does instill just how a story generally goes. Now I've just got to beat all of this together. It's going to be even tastier than the butter and the sugar was, I think. I love spatulas. Every baker should invest in a good spatula. You can see that I've been tidying up as I go. I've watched TV. They always say on MasterChef that you need to keep a clean workspace. So I'm putting things over here out of shot. Now that I've got all of my wet ingredients combined, let's call that the foundation of the story, okay? I can now add my dry ingredients, which is the flour and the spices and all of that sort of thing, to make it an interesting story. So I'm sure most of you have probably, and if not you should have, heard of the 3-act structure for your book. That pretty much just means you're breaking your book up into 3 parts, and at the end of each part there's sort of a climactic big something that happens. Within each of these parts, or they also call it the 3-act structure, there are certain things that are kind of supposed to happen. For example, in the first act, you're supposed to have your hook and your inciting incident, the thing that changes everything for your main character. Each of the acts has some of these things, and you know, the acts don't have to be even, as far as I'm aware. They can be pushed and pulled a little bit, but if you know where the kind of things, main plot points are supposed to go in your story, it just gives you a really good basis for writing that novel. So I've never made this recipe before. And it's the same with writing my book. I'm about halfway through a first draft, but I've never written a book before. So it's sort of, it makes sense that I would follow the guidelines, i.e. follow the recipe that's there the first time through. I mean, unless you want to fix all of your plot holes later, or have inedible biscuits. I like edible biscuits myself. It does make sense that Gingerbread Man has ground ginger in it. One thing that I think really helps with structuring a story is outlining. I know there's the whole plotter pantser debate, and I've kind of discovered that I am a little bit somewhere in between. I've got an outline that's quite rigid, but I have been going off that while I've been writing. But it does allow you to kind of come back into that plot where you're going. And if you've got an outline, you can also break your story up into parts. You can see it laid out into those 3 acts, or you can see if it's not laid out into those 3 acts and where you might need to change things. So I've mixed together all of my dry and wet ingredients. Now, apparently, I need to beat my egg white. Doesn't sound above board, does it? So we've just beaten this egg white into soft peaks, and my, they are good soft peaks. But I've also just realized that this is actually for the icing, and we weren't actually going to do icing today. But you know what? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you create something and you have to put it aside because it just doesn't work for what you're doing. So here we go, it's going aside. It is aside. Now that we've got our mixture, apparently we need to knead it. Good thing I wasn't doing a workout today. So I'm going to get some flour, take off my wedding rings so I don't get Ninjabread men stuck in them. Grab some flour, dust a bit of flour on the chopping board here. My husband can't do this. Touching flour or chalk or anything like that gives him the heebie-jeebies. He would be going, I imagine someone watching this will be watching and saying that my kneading technique is wrong. I don't care. One thing that's interesting about baking is even when you do follow the recipe, sometimes it comes out of the oven and it doesn't work. It doesn't look anything like you'd planned, anything like the recipe said it would. It's a little bit like writing a first draft. Just because you know all of the things that you're supposed to do doesn't mean that your very first novel is going to be a publishable wonder. And that's fine, that's okay, because every step is a learning step. I've got my buttered tray that I prepared earlier, and we've rolled out the gingerbread mixture. Now we need to use our cookie cutters to cut out some gingerbread men. You've got to be careful with them. Another variation on the structure side of things is that has been really popular around lately is Save the Cat, which is on my to-read list, but what I understand of it is it effectively breaks a book, or the original was a screenplay, but there is a novel one out now, into beats. So there are certain beats that you have within your story, and when you look at your outline, you can break it up into hitting those beats to make sure that, I suppose, the beat of your story is there. All right, I've now rolled out and cut out my Ninjabread men, and they're ready to go into the oven. Guys, they're done. Look at my Ninjabread men. Awesome. They're gonna stay down here to cool for a little while before we eat them. But now we're up to what could be determined by some as the most important and most exciting part of this video, and that is the giveaway information. So just before I started NaNoWriMo, I hit my first 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm now very close to 200. I'm also very close to 500 followers over on Instagram, and I want to celebrate that. I want to thank you guys with this giveaway. So I bet you all want to know what the prize is. Well, I am giving away anything that you want from Book Depository up to 40 US dollars, which is about 50 Australian dollars or so. 40 US dollars, anything you want. That could be 3 paperbacks, that could be a couple of hardbacks. It is entirely up to you if you win. The link for the competition is in the description down below. There are multiple ways to enter, so you can get more than one entry. Head on down there, click the link, enter. The competition closes on the 31st of December at midnight Australian time. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my comparisons between baking Ninjabread men and story structure. There is another video coming out tomorrow. Please come back for that one. So hit that subscribe button and then you'll know when it comes out. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter and reviewing on Goodreads. But for now, don't forget to add some structure to your story and don't forget to laugh at yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye!